Hello, just making this impromptu video while it's raining out. Okay, let's focus. So, I have been thinking a lot about just like spiritual attacks in general and ways that they try to get us in general. And it seems like the majority of the attacks are, on the heart. Because our heart is this organ that transmutes so much energy. Our heart is literally our inner generator. And if you think about it, our heart is like pumping the blood through the rest of our bodies. And what is blood? Blood is water. What is water? Water is electricity. Water is alkaline. Water is literally energy flowing through our bodies. So when the energy gets stuck because the heart is not pumping, or there's like some kind of energetic block there, it ends up really constricting us and stagnating us, so where we cannot lead through our hearts. And a big dot I have been connecting is from the thymus gland. The thymus gland is right here. When you tap on that, it activates your field more, because this is where you extend out your energy through. And there's the eighth chakra that encapsulates our entire body. And I think of the eighth chakra as like our golden light body. And there actually have been, like, I couldn't sleep one night. Oh my gosh, this is why I have my water handy, just in case, because lately when I am making videos, I feel this like almost like this choking. So they cannot get me, they cannot catch us. We are light, we are more powerful, keeping the heart open. And that in itself is actually a really good example of how they try to get us. Because when you start feeding your energy into that disempowering state of like, oh, I can't talk because my throat hurts, then they're like, haha, we got her, now she's gonna get sick, because you're already consenting to that happening next. But as I was saying, the golden light is our aura, and our aura, each one of us has an aura. Our aura is full of God's light. It's full of universal, healing power. Like, it is literally our defense. It's our shield to the outside world. And so this is what happens when I'm doing energy healing sessions with a client, because I can sense when there's like something there, and you can see it in a person. Like, if you're an empath, you definitely see it when you meet someone and their energy is just like really like weak and just like just they're playing small. It's very like in on itself versus expansive. When you witness someone who has like a very large presence, a very striking energy, someone who's like very in their power, they walk into a room and you just like feel them. And that is exactly because their aura is clear. Their aura is not stagnated. So they have that like golden shield around them, that barrier where they're just flowing their own energy. They're constantly giving and receiving. And so they're staying in that limbo, in that, maybe not limbo, well, I guess it could be a limbo, but in that mutual exchange, that sacred, not sacred. Wow, there is a lot. Like, I'm feeling it in my head too. My thoughts are just like, I have it, it's leaving. I have it, it's leaving. And in these cases is when it helps to really slow down. It's just like, it's so excited to share these things, and so I want to just like blah blah blah. But okay, so the golden light is our aura. And so when our aura is strong, we stay protected. Our waters are moving fluidly. It's all connected. So when it's all moving well, you're feeling amazing, you're feeling strong, your posture is open, your voice is magnetic, your eye contact is amazing. Like, you are just tapped in, turned on, like you are who you are. Now, if you're ever feeling less than that, I want you to know you're not crazy, and it's not you. It's something pulling on your energy. And so that is exactly when we need to have that self-awareness. We need to drop our defense mode, our ego, because our ego wants to be like, no, we're perfectly fine, we're strong, we got this, which like we are strong, we do got this, but there is something there that is pulling on you, draining your energy. And if you just ignore it, what do you think is going to happen? Like if you just ignore it, it's going to keep taking from you, and it's going to stagnate your field, and your heart's going to start to close off. And it's just there are some crazy things, and I don't want to get too deep into it, of course, to like scare anyone, or just to obviously like not be understood. I want to keep this very clear. So yeah, and we can really transmute anything. Like I'll notice it when my mind is like feeling foggy. I'll be like, okay, let me take a shower. I take a shower, and like it instantly kind of like returns me back. Other times I notice it happening, obviously breathing is a huge one. Like you take an inhale, fill up your lungs with like everything that's in your field that feels like it's stagnating, everything that feels like it's like suffocating you and like not allowing you to be into like your own expansion, and then like let it all go. And of course, if it helps, take a few breaths like that. One that's really been helping me lately is washing the dishes, which I usually have a little bit of a resistance to anyway. Like I sometimes will just feel like numb, like I'll be like so tired, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I just cooked this meal, and then I just ate, and now I'm full, and now I have to go wash the dishes. Like no, all I want to do is like sit on the couch and scroll on my phone. And so I'll start doing that, and I'll catch myself and just be like, whoa, like this is not me. Like this is this layer clouding my judgment and making me think that this is actually what's going to feel good, when the actual feeling good happens when you transmute the stuff that's in the way of you being your high energy self. So if you're feeling tired, most likely there's something you need to do. Maybe drink some water. Like sometimes it's literally as simple as that. Maybe it's taking a risk. Fear, like going through fear, like facing it head on, gives you so much of your power back, because by consenting to the fear, you're allowing this thing to hold your power, this external thing. Like if you're scared of public speaking and you just want to shy away from it, but then the moment you step up there and you just decide, I'm gonna fucking do it, I'm gonna blast off through these fields, I'm gonna be myself, and you lead with your heart, it's like everything shifts. And that is you in your own alchemy. You are an alchemist when you take your energy and do something different with it. And so obviously it doesn't need to be as as intense as that, like facing your biggest fear or whatever, like, oh, like let me go skydive. But it happens in the small ways of every day, whenever you notice. And it does require being conscious enough to notice, because your ego will try to distract you. Your ego will tell you, you didn't get that good of sleep last night. You're tired, so go drink a coffee. Your ego will literally just try to heal on a symptomatic level, which is actually a very microcosmic state of the macrocosm of our whole healthcare industry. It's like, oh, you have insomnia, like here, take melatonin, or here, take these medications, take CBD. And I mean, all these things, like, I don't know about melatonin anymore, but CBD obviously can definitely help. But the whole moral of the story is that you can transmute your own energy. You don't need that outside thing, because the outside thing is, in essence, you transmuting it, because you are feeding your power into that. It's like a placebo effect. When you think, oh, I'm going to take a shot of whiskey right now and then I'll feel like more open, like you are consenting to it. Can you do that same thing with taking a sip of water instead of taking a shot of whiskey, and still consciously like consent your energy, like program that water to make you feel that way too? You probably won't have any like psychoactive effects or anything, but you will notice more of your energy return. So sorry, I'm like trying to cover everything, but the dishwashing one is major for me. So with that same example, sitting on the couch, being tired, I'll be like, no, I gotta freaking do it. I'm just gonna face it. I go and I wash the dishes, and within like moments, I already feel myself being in like a way calmer state, and automatically my energy comes back to me because I am more open to receive my own flow, because then I'm like taking a seat back and I'm like moving with my energy rather than sitting there consuming on a phone or eating more snacks or like whatever it is that comes up for you. I mean, it could be so many different things. And so while I'm washing the dishes, I will intend like, oh, I'm still thinking about that accident that happened yesterday. So as I'm washing the dish, I'll just be like, the accident that happened yesterday, clearing it, moving on to the next thing. Because sometimes, especially when you're in those states where you feel a little wonky, feel a little disconnected from yourself, that's when there's a lot flooding through. A lot is trying to penetrate your field. And so instead of like, consuming more, taking in more, you actually need to clear more away. And this actually even happens with herbs. I've been healing my nervous system, and I noticed that when I feel like, oh, I'm just like stressed or anxious, it's really just, needing to relax, to drop everything else. And that's what a lot of these herbs help with, because they prepare your body to allow for that relaxation to happen, which then happens on a physical level, and then it can be released on mental, energetic level as well. So there's like so much more that I can say on this, but moral of the story is, do not be afraid to face those things, because a big way that we also give our power away is through trauma. So many people are scared to face their trauma versus just admitting to yourself like, okay, I'm not feeling 100%. I'm feeling sad today. Let's explore that. Let's dig deeper. Let's ask our body. Let's, take a time out to really dig deeper into ourselves and be like, body, where is the sadness stemming from? Please show me the sadness. And just like really get into that calming state where you just allow yourself to receive the messages from your body. And before you know, you're going to have some kind of clarity coming in. You're going to be able to like feel it, be like, oh my gosh, I'm sad because somebody bullied me yesterday, in maybe an indirect way, maybe a direct way, whatever it is, you just acknowledge like, this is where it started happening. And then you take your power back, and then you feel it. You're like, okay, that's what happened. Okay. And then forgive yourself. Forgiveness is such an alchemical tool, because the moment you forgive yourself, you just like remove all of this like shame, this guilt. And those are like not human emotions. Like, sorry to break it to you. And once again, I don't want to get too deep into like the darkness of things, but those are not natural feelings. And so when we feel those, we really have to just come back to the inner work. And I'm realizing, especially this year, I've been facing so much of this stuff coming up for me, and that it just gets easier and easier and easier, but it also gets faster, because I will notice in the moment where I'm like, whoa, I'm feeling this. Take a break, take a breath, feel into it. What is it? And I like literally, as if I'm looking into a mirror, I'm like, what is it? I face it, transmute it, feel light, and then move on. And that's really all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be this, like back in the day, I would, cycle through these darker emotions and really be like afraid of my shadow subconsciously. And once again, because the ego tries to protect you from anything that it thinks is unsafe or uncomfortable. And obviously these darker emotions, these lower emotions are uncomfortable. And so things would come up, and then I would binge eat, and then I would have a drink, and then I would smoke, and then I would stay up late, and then the next day I would still be feeling like it's like this thing that just looms over you for multiple days at a time. And that is literally how people consent to things like depression or like chronic anxiety. And I didn't even realize it too until this year that I was living in chronic anxiety for the majority of my life. Like, since I was a kid, I was living in this chronic anxiety, but because I thought it was normal and because I sensed it so much in people around me, I just assumed this is something that we live with. This is part of the human experience, until I started to really face those things within myself, clear them on a deeper level, on a subconscious level, on an energetic level, on a physical level, on a mental level, of course. I mean, I guess mental would be the subconscious, but really clearing it, allowing it to dissipate, like taking my power back from all different crevices. And now whenever it comes up, it's like super easy. Although there could be more advanced tactics thrown our way as well. So, I'm only sharing from the perspective of where I am now. So maybe eventually deeper things will be revealed to me, but from where I am now, it feels like I'm getting a really good grasp on how to do these things and how to drop that ego defense and be able to actually face myself, let it go, and then keep going and show up fully through the heart, because that is what they are trying to attack. They don't want us to connect with the earth. The heart, the earth, same words. They have art in them. So when we share our art, when we create art, that is us taking back our power too. That is us being in our creative state, using those gifts that God provided us with, those gifts that we were born with, our birthright, to create and to really put stuff out into the world. So I didn't want to make this super duper long. I actually thought it was going to be like 2 minutes long, but thank you guys for listening. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you're interested in more videos like this, let me know if there's like a topic that you want me to expand on, because I've been studying this stuff for a really long time, since like 2015. And so, yes, I would love to share any juice that I can with you. Tra la la.